Michigan versus Jonathan Garfield, docket number 20-624FH. And this is the time set for a plea in this matter. And Mr. Garfield, are you still at this address in Leslie that I have down here?
Yes, Your Honor.
In Leslie, yeah. And how far did you go in school? I can't hear you.
University studies.
I can't hear well enough to take a plea if this is how the audio is going to be.
Yes, breaking up.
And we can't record. My recorder's telling me as well.
Can you hear me now?
It's partly the volume and partly the quality of the audio.
Okay. I'll try. I have about 6 minutes in university studies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's both. The volume's a little better now, but the quality is, he's in and out. We can't make a record, and I certainly can't understand him well enough to take a factual basis and do a guilty plea.
I understand that. My understanding is I'll be able to do it in person.
Well, right now we're only supposed to be in person because we've been moved back to phase 1. We're only supposed to be in person for emergencies and constitutionally required in-person hearings, and a plea is not either of those. So while I would like to get this matter resolved in a speedy way, we have to either find another location to do it remotely where maybe internet is better, if that's the problem, or wait till we can do it in person.
Okay, Your Honor, if I would I have my phone and we tried it that way, just to see if it works.
Kuntz, are you suggesting maybe you call from your phone for the audio portion of it? Is that what you're, sorry, you're breaking up, but I see you holding your phone and that would work.
Yeah, but now mute your computer, otherwise we'll have a disaster of echoes on our hands. Thank you for that interpretation, Ms. Allen.
Holding up a cell phone, I think that's weird.
I couldn't hear him. Okay, you're in my waiting room and I will let you in. Okay, you want to try saying?
Can you hear me now, Your Honor?
Yes, and Mr. Garfield?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it again then. We left off at how far did you go in school?
I have, I think, about 60 credits in university studies.
Okay, and do you work right now?
No, I'm disabled, Your Honor. That's why I
Okay.
wasn't able to complete. Sorry.
Understood. Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Garfield. You can put your hand down, and you have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Kuntz, and Mr. Kuntz or Ms. Allen, one of you, can you tell me which count or counts is he pleading to?
Count 3, Your Honor.
count 3. And Mr. Kuntz, if that's correct, will you waive reading of counts 1, 2, and 4 through 8?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then Ms. Allen, would you read count 3, please?
In the people of the state of Michigan versus Jonathan Garfield, file 20-624-FH, State of Michigan, County of Ingham. In the name of the people of the state of Michigan, the prosecuting attorney for this county appears before the court and informs the court that on or about April 6, 2020 through July 2nd, 2020, at 424 East Street, City of Leslie, Ingham County, the defendant did, in count 3, commit the offense of aggravated possession of child sexually abusive material, that he did knowingly possess child sexually abusive material involving a video contrary to Michigan law. This offense carries with it a notice under the Sex Offender Registry Act that it is a Tier 1 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act. It is a Tier 2 offense if the defendant has a prior conviction for a Tier 1 offense pursuant to Michigan law. It is a Tier 3 offense if the defendant has a prior conviction for a Tier 2 offense pursuant to Michigan law. It is a felony punishable by up to 10 years and or $50,000 and was committed against the peace and dignity of the state of Michigan.
Mr. Garfield, you're being charged here with what's known as aggravated possession of child sexually abusive material. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. It will also subject you to the Sex Offender Registration Act requirements. And if you were on parole at the time of the commission of the offense, it would be a mandatory consecutive sentence. Have you had enough time to talk about this charge with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Do you have any questions about what it is we're doing?
No, Your Honor.
And how do you want to plead to this count 3, Mr. Garfield?
Guilty, Your Honor.
If your plea of guilty is accepted by this court, it means you won't have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that go along with a trial. I'm going to go through those for you. You'll be giving up your right to have a trial by jury, or if you didn't want trial by jury, trial by judge. You'll be giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty and to require the prosecutor to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll be giving up your right to have the witnesses against you appear at the trial and to be able to cross-examine them, as well as the right to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear at the trial. You'll give up your right to remain silent at the trial and not to have your silence used against you, or in the alternative, your right to testify at the trial if you wanted to. There are also some things about appeals that are different when you plead guilty. One is you don't get an automatic right to have the higher court hear your case. Instead, you have to ask them to hear it, and they would have to agree to hear it. The other thing that's different is when you plead guilty, there are many issues you cannot appeal. Unlike if you go to trial, if you get convicted, you can appeal everything. Do you understand those rights, Mr. Garfield?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, if I accept your plea, it means you can't come back later on and try to say that the plea was the result of some promise or threat that no one told me about today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
It also means you cannot come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your last portion.
It means also, if I accept your plea, it means you can't come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is there a plea agreement, Ms. Allen?
There is, Your Honor. In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty to count 3, the people agree to dismiss the balance of the information. There's also a sentence agreement pursuant to People versus Killebrew that the defendant's sentence on this case will be in the A2 cell, which is 12 to 20 months, and the parties acknowledge that is a straddle cell.
And Mr. Coons, is that a full and complete statement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Garfield, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree with it?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
There's an agreement about your sentence, and that is that it would be in what's known as a straddle cell, which could be jail or prison, but it's the range of 12 to 20 months. If for some reason I decided not to go along with that, I would tell you before I sentenced you, and I'd give you a chance if you wanted to take back this plea and start all over. Have you got all that?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Has anyone promised you anything else that hasn't been said here right now in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone used any threats to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Is this your own choice?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you believe you are in fact guilty of this offense in count 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then tell me about count 3 and what you did between the dates of, April 6th of last year and July 2nd of last year.
I used BitTorrent to download child pornography.
Okay, what kind of child pornography? Was it still photos or video or something else?
It was both, Your Honor.
Okay, so there was at least a video in there?
Yes, Your Honor.
A video meaning someone live was acting something out and it was being taped, so to speak. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, that's correct, Your
Okay.
Honor.
And did this involve a child under the age of, is it 16 or 18, Ms. Allen? I can't remember.
I believe it's 16. No.
Okay. Was it a child under 16, Mr. Garfield?
I believe so, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, and this porn video, was it this child being acted upon in some sexual way or acting something out sexually?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it not that it matters, but girl or a boy, just so I can refer correctly?
There were girls and girls with boys.
Okay, so these girls and girls with boys were engaging in explicit sexual acts, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you downloaded this and possessed it knowingly, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
In other words, it wasn't an accident.
Correct.
All right, and this was at this was on East Street in Leslie, Ingham County, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has the court complied with MCR 6.302, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Coons?
Yes, Your Honor, but can I ask one more question to establish a factual basis?
Sure.
Jonathan, did at least one of these videos involve a prepubescent child?
Yes.
Are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record, Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Coons?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds the plea is understandingly and voluntarily made without any undue influence, threats, or promises of leniency. It is an accurate plea. It's supported by the testimony. The plea is accepted, and I have a sentencing date of Monday, May 24th at 3 p.m. That will need to be an in-person sentencing. Does that work on your schedule, Mr. Coons?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then Mr. Garfield, you will need to be here in my courtroom on Monday, May 24th at 3 p.m. for sentencing. And you will be contacted from someone from the probation department well before then. They will contact you to set up an interview with you. It'll be a remote interview, but an interview with you so that they can prepare the report that I'll use for sentencing. If you don't hear from them in the next couple of days, please contact adult probation. It's 483-6100, or Mr. Kuntz can give you the number if you can't get it down right now. But contact them if you haven't heard from them in a couple of days, because it is really important that they get that interview done, as close to right now as possible. So if you have no questions, then that will conclude our hearing. Your bond is-
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, then that will